Hi, everyone. I'm here today from Focus to Win podcast. It's Lee Tessier, and I have my good friend, Roger Shorr. So thank you, Roger, for being on here. We are going to talk about some of your history and your new book that's coming out. So Roger's background was he was a CFP, a certified financial planner for many years, award-winning. You know, I'll let him get into more of the kudos on it, but just has an extensive background. I met Roger back in 2018, helping him sell his home and move to Florida. Just great guy. And then he went from the financial world to a whole nother calling as he got retired and got a little heavy. So, and we'll talk about that. Yes, I gave you some fat comments here, buddy. So, which we'll talk about. And I think that's one of the big things we want people to hear is, I think, you know, you're a little bit later in life. You just turned 70. So happy birthday belated to you.
Ouch.
And,
Hurts.
And you know, you're
60-10. But
yeah, there you go. 60 plus 10. So, but I also think about KFC, which is the total opposite. You know, he started when he was 66 when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. So it's like, hey, later in life, and he writes a great book. So, which you got a lot of great accolades for. So I just wanted to introduce Roger here. We're going to get more into your book, which is Near Perfect Body, right? Nobody has a perfect body, but we are near perfect body.
May I, sir?
Certainly.
The near perfect body.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's get in. So what do you want to get across to our listeners today? What is it? What's your passion? You have some intention here and passion behind it, which, you know, you already lost your voice about it because we've been talking about it for a little bit for a couple of days.
Oh, you think I talk too much? They'll see.
There you go. So we'll shorten it a period. So.
All right. Make it super short. The answer to the question is what I want everybody to get. I want them to get what I got. Bottom line, the bottom line of the story is finding more happiness in life, period, end of story. The rest of it is details. I feel incredible, life-changing, amazing details. But at the end of the day, any reader, I think, whether they get their near perfect body or not, because I laid it out exactly what I did step by step, whether they get it or not, if they get something out of it, more happiness, learn how to be a friend to yourself, whatever, I think their time will be well spent reading this book.
So I think of the journey that we got to get to this point was you had messaged me about something for your mother-in-law. So I said, you know, I commented back, got right back to you. And then you said, hey, do you know anybody that's 55 plus that would be interested in health? I'm like, well, I was getting ready to turn 50 this year, and I was really focused on my health. So I was like, what do you got? And you said to me, he's like, well, I got the manuscript for this book that I wrote. Let me know what you think. Do you want to read it? And I was like, yeah. So, I was on my journey. I was just starting a little bit deeper into my journey now. I was turning 50. So I was like, I'm not 55, but here I'm 50. Let me see what you got. So you sent it over to me and I started reading through it. And I think of so many good aspects in the book which really helped me. Like, I still go back to thinking about cookies before I want to go eat them.
I don't like them anymore. I mean, that's personal, but no cookies go here.
Yeah. But I think of also the beer story, right? You're on the golf course drinking beers for 50 years. Right. So let's talk a little bit about, like, give us the journey that got you to the point where you're deciding to write a book.
Okay, that's a good question. There's so much here, but let me start with one thing, sir. 50? Are you telling me you're my good friend, Lee? I mean, you're the only other black belt in Hungar Jiu-Jitsu, and I gave you the black belt in my party. But are you suggesting to me, sir, that I'm old enough to be your father?
Could be. Right?
Okay, all right, back to the journey. All right, so I had retired down in beautiful West Palm Beach, Florida. Magnificent, unbelievable place. It's like paradise. It really is. Yeah. And I would play golf, or some reasonable facsimile thereof. I have a great instructor, one of the very best instructors on planet Earth. His name is Martin Hall. Oh, he's fantastic. And he actually was one of the very first men that endorsed my book. I had the first one that came out that you saw at the Near Perfect Party. Yeah. And I had a medical doctor, Henry Lepori. They were the first two that came out and endorsed my book. And you did. Yeah. Anyway, the journey. It's very hard for me to say all this because there's so much to tell and we have limited time. I'm sitting on a path that I was always on after golf, and I would always have my beer in my cooler. But I'd sit there and just enjoy the serenity. It was beautiful. I'd look at the lake. We have palm trees, royal palms. I learned to love them as a child. The wind would blow, and I had a can of beer in my hand. And for some reason, on that strange and beautiful day, I asked myself a question. I answered my question, and somehow it opened the doorway. And I unwittingly walked through it. It really led me to a place where an understanding of my life that I could have never possibly imagined. And that's how it all started.
So you started down that journey because of the beer. Like, I think of like, what is this beer doing for me? I think that's
exactly the question that I asked myself. You know me well, and you know the answer, but I'll say it for you. I held the beer and I looked at it and I said, what is this beer doing for me? After a half of century, sir, that's 50 years. It's how old you are or were.
Yep.
The answer was very simple, like so many things in life are. The answer was nothing. Exactly. And that was the last beer. I have lots of witnesses, including my lovely wife, that will tell you. Never had a drop of alcohol since. I'm not preaching.
So let's talk about health, fitness, and so forth then. So were you going to the gym then?
Well, yes, I was, but I didn't know what I was doing. Definition of insanity.
Yeah. Not with the intention that you have now. And then what was your weight back then? So let's get some metrics of like I want to give them a little bit of an overview and be like, why do I want to read this book? First of all, there's so many books. But why do I want to read this book? So
why?
You started weighing what?
I guess the real question is, why in the world did I write the book? Right. Why do you want to read the book? Okay. Let me give you a little background if I may. I think it will help. I'll be quick, brief. I know we're limited time. When I was 9, my father left. I think I turned to food to fill the void, and then I got heavy. And long story short, I'm very good at long stories. I was never happy with the way I looked with my shirt off or in a bathing suit, period, end of story. And through this incredible journey that I took, and I had to write it down because it was a great gift for me, and it came with a string attached. I realized that my gift came with a string attached to me. And that gift was I had to share it. I had to share it. But anyway, I had looked so bad in my mind, and it's all that really matters is what's in our mind. Our mindset is where everything happens. Okay. In my mind, I wasn't happy with the way I looked. When I was in martial arts in my 20s and late teens, he would see me in my he says, what is this guy talking about? He must look good with his shirt off. Not to me, I didn't. Yeah. And I never was happy, Lee. And I'll look you right in the eye and tell you, until May 1st, 2023, when I looked in the mirror, after I had realized that I was finally on this journey, which I realized probably in January, sometime in January, it started early December. I looked in the mirror on May 1st, 2023. The pictures are in my book. I took them that day to memorialize the day. And I stood back and I said, I can't believe it. All my life, I wanted this. And here it is now. I'm going to be 69 in 26 days, excuse me. But I saw my near perfect body. There was nothing like it. It was breathtakingly. I couldn't believe it.
Well, I think that's the big thing that I got out of it too, is like, as I went through my journey, I was in a challenge at the gym, and I was like, all right, and I was reading the book at the same time. So it was like perfect timing.
Not perfectly, near perfect timing. Sorry.
Right. So I went from, I had been working out also for 7.5 years with a ex NFL player. So he was pro NFL for 15 years. So he knew what the hell he was doing, training me. But then, I went for 6 months of just working out by myself. And then I was like, all right, let me go to change gym. So I got on the in-body scan, and I was like 17.4% body fat. I was like, all right, at least it's less than 20. So it wasn't the greatest, but it was. And then when reading the book, going through the challenge, paying attention to really what I'm doing, diet more than anything, meaning not really a diet, but watching what I'm eating and making sure I'm eating better foods. I think with some of the stuff that you had said too, which was fruits, like fill yourself up with fruits and stuff.
Not fill yourself up.
Well, it's a filler before otherwise you're going to go eating like so many things.
Wait a minute, sir. May I? We're into hunger jiu-jitsu, and you're a black belt now, but I'm I'm the founder. So
Yeah.
I will tell, if you want me to talk about Hungry Jiu-Jitsu respectfully, hey, look, you used it and you did it and you succeeded, right?
Yeah. I mean, my thing was I went from 17.4 down to 8.8. I never thought I was going to be. So that goes to where you're talking about your body. You were like, holy crap. I was finally very proud to take my shirt off, and now I'm 50 years old. I'm like, all right, so my 20s were good, but my 30s and 40s wasn't. But now I'm back to 50.
Okay, let me say this. Grasshopper, if I may.
Sure.
You did great. I'm not taking a word, anything away from you. And you won a fitness contest that you said, you told me, and it's in the book, and it still is. It's the second edition. You have this, but you don't have this yet.
Right.
Right. Champion. Darn right. Lee Tessier. Champion realtor. Champion fitness guy now with a little help from his friends. But I will say this. Let me have my moment, sir. When I started measuring my percent body fat, that wasn't when I had started my journey, because when I started my journey, actually, I didn't realize I was on a journey.
Yeah.
Something sounds a little weird, and maybe I'm a little old, maybe I have too much imagination, but it almost is like something found me that day. I was retired. I was happy. I played golf and drink a beer. Life's good. No debt. It's great. I worked hard on my life. I did it. It's just wild. But long story short, I started to measure percent body fat when I started to take selfies, because I'm like, I'm losing weight, but for some reason it felt different to me this time.
Mm-hmm.
It felt right. And so when my first measurement, and I sent you today to Josh by text, the in-body, it wasn't the first one, but it has the first measure where I was 18 point something. Now I was probably in my 20% right. Body fat in early December, but I was losing weight pretty quickly, but not faster than 2 pounds a week. And when I measured, it was 18 point something. You know where it is now, or should I tell your audience?
Yeah, let's tell them.
Under 5. And I have a low of 3.0, which is too low. So as a good former financial and money manager, I watch the data constantly. So if it does something that's inconsistent with my goals, I adjust by eating more or less, exercising a little harder or a little less. And it's all easy and natural to do, and it's fun.
So I think of what you just said there, which I want the audience to really hear, is like, all right, he is 70 now, right?
Don't rub it in, Lee, please. Don't.
Right. No, but look at you. You look great for 70. If I'm at 70 years old and look like you and have 5% body fat, I mean, right now.
Well, it's less than 5%, you would see, but
right.
not much.
But
not much.
Still, freaking 5% is freaking amazing, and especially at your age, and you weren't on that journey. It's like, all right, hey, what do I want to live longer? That's one of the things, right? I'm assuming you want to live a longer
life.
Well,
yeah, the way I'm living now, I hope I never go. But, tomorrow is promised to no one, sir. So we live every day, carpe diem, fill each day with as much fun and happiness and smile as much as you can. And pardon me for going off on a little bit of a tangent. No, I have to say this because I have to say this in this podcast. To me, one of life's greatest gifts is friendship. And you're a real good friend, Lee. You really are. And I think the world of you and Tracy. And hopefully, I know that it's a mutual thing. And you're a real successful man. And I respect that a lot because you work hard. And I will say this. I'll give you a plug. I felt one of the best feelings when I had you sell my house in Falston. Remember that? Of course you did. Because I felt, and still to this day think, that even though I knew I wasn't, you had a way of making me feel like I was the only client you had. And I meant you. And I mean that. Well, you're welcome, sir. And thank you for being the professional that you are.
Thank you. Yeah, much appreciated. I mean, the friendship.
I got to because I must stop. Thank you very much.
Well, also the friendship end, because here we travel down to West Palm to come see you.
Oh, I heard it. That's great. Down here we'll play golf. I want to go deep sea fishing.
So that I may not take you up on since I get motion sickness. But.
Okay, fair enough. Golf it is. Maybe I get you a lesson with Martin Hall. What? I got Henry Lepori a lesson. It was fantastic. I even have videos.
Yeah, I mean, you had some great people at the parties.
I know, it's unbelievable. What a teacher. PGA.
So let's get into the book a little bit. So what's your definition of near perfect body?
Thanks for putting the ball in the tee, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I have this chapter here. It was chapter 12, I think, in the first book. Now I think it's maybe 20, called The Eye of the Beholder. Oh, what's that? You ever hear the saying, expression, beauty is in the eye of the beholder?
Yeah.
Well, so is your near perfect body. It's not a contest. Maybe it is a contest. It's a contest with yourself. So the near perfect body is, let's see, I nailed it. Chapter 20, Eye of the Beholder, page 115. What is it? Near perfect body. And some people will come to this book and they don't want a near perfect body. They just want to be happier and healthier. And guess what? They can do it easily, naturally, and fun. It's in the book. You don't have to go for it. It's not a diet book. It's a fitness book, but it's a life fitness book, if I may. But anyway, what's the near perfect body? Getting hard for me to stay on track at this advanced age of 60-10. I can't say the word. You can't. Near perfect body, you look in the mirror and you have to be honest with yourself, like a good friend. Is a friend going to lie to you? No. People say, I don't want to get on the scale. I don't want to get on the mirror. But what is the scale in the mirror? They're honest with you. They always will tell you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it.
Right. I
say the scale in the mirror, don't fear them. They're your friends. Yeah. Sometimes you don't recognize friends. And sometimes you don't recognize foes. It's happened to me recently. I thought I had friends I didn't. I thought I didn't have friends I did. It's incredible. But what is the near perfect body? You look in the mirror after you've gone through the easy, fun steps. Keep a journal. I'm going to have a journal soon, hopefully in the next few months, I hope. It's called the Near Perfect Journal. Go figure. That it'll be set up. It'll have inspiration, and it's going to be like the NPB Society, which I'm going to have online maybe 2 or 3 months or something. Place where everybody could come join and chat and talk about what works and doesn't work. Near perfect body. Stay on point here. Look in the mirror after you've done it. It's not going to be quick. I'm not going to promise you a quick fix, but I am suggesting that it'll be permanent, fun, and you'll feel wonderful and you'll have happiness, I think. At least it happened to me. You look in the mirror and you say, no, I see some improvements. No, that's not a near perfect body. And you can look in the mirror and say, like I did, wow, I didn't think change like this could happen to me. Yeah. But there it is. And the mirror's not lying. It's telling me the truth. It's right there in front of me. And guess what? In my book, if you don't mind, sir, I have endorsements from doctors, 5 doctors. They're beautiful endorsements. They love it. But let me say this. I'm going to this second chapter, the turning point, because it's so important, so pivotal to answer your question. Sometimes the easiest of solutions stands right in front of you. The answer you seek is often well hidden in plain sight. If you can find a way to identify it and focus on it rather than all the other things competing for your attention, it will soon shine brilliantly, like truth always does. That's the message in your book.
So I think of one of the things when you said that, when like the mirror doesn't lie and the scale doesn't lie, right?
They don't. Well, sometimes they're not, adjusted, but you know what I mean.
Right, sure. But I think there's so many things you can buy in life. You can't buy that, and you can't buy your health.
No, you
can rent it, like you're going along.
You can mask your health. You can buy certain things that will make you think that you're okay, but you're not. But go ahead.
So I have heard this. We were talking about it recently in real estate world, and said too many people want the painkillers and they don't want the vitamins.
It's called
they want the immediate fix instead of taking the vitamins that will actually help them long term and get them on a better path. They want the immediate quick fix, the $39.95 weight loss pill that doesn't help them.
Let me weigh in. I'm sorry. Quick fix.
Correct.
Have you ever done anything worthwhile, achieved anything worthwhile without giving forth some time and dedication and effort? I didn't think so. So if you want a quick fix, please don't buy this.
Yeah.
If you want like a miracle or something that will you can sit on the couch and eat bonbons and watch your weight melt away. Yeah. This book is not for you, but if you want happiness, if you want
what I want to give you kudos for, because I feel like when I was talking to 10 years ago, talking to my doctor, he had said, well, you need to lose 1 pound a week for a year. And I'm like, holy crap, that's 50
pounds a week. Well, maybe, a guy that's 100 pounds overweight, that might be a problem.
Right. But I was like, holy shit, how do we? And he said, you need to change your lifestyle. And I was like,
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
What does that mean? So, the one thing I would say in the book that helps figure out more of your lifestyle of adjusting, right? You're reading, you have a path that somebody else went down. Hey, they were out of shape. They were a little heavy. They weren't living their best life, and then started on the journey of like, how do I get a little better every day? Hey, I get rid of the beer. Hey, am I going to eat this cookie because this cookie's staring me in the face?
Cookies are the enemy, sir. They're obstacles.
Right, ice cream, like all the things.
I eat ice cream now. I admit it in my book, but there's reasons for it, and I control that too. But anyway, and all cookies, because cookies are.
But I think of just so much between sugar, a lot of carbs, not enough proteins, just overall. But instead of looking for the painkiller, let's look for the vitamins. This book is more the vitamins,
of course, but it's more than the vitamins.
It's changing your lifestyle.
I have to weigh in. It's not about treating the symptoms. People don't get that. Reprogramming your mind, it's easy. We're like, our minds are like computers. Our minds are super sophisticated supercomputer. I think I'm not a computer guy. I'm not a fitness or a diet guy. So how do I write this book? I just had something happen to me and I just followed a path.
Yeah. I mean, here, my journey now, 10 years later, I'm 50 pounds less. I was borderline high cholesterol, borderline high blood pressure. Now my blood pressure is really good and my cholesterol is good. I like all these things that come into play, but you need to change lifestyle. That's the biggest thing I'd say out of this is like, read the book.
You need to become your own best friend by training your inner voice. Everybody has his inner voice. When you think, it's visions, it's pictures, it's feelings, but largely you hear words. I'm going to have dinner. I'm going to have for dinner. I have steak. Aren't the words on the screen somewhere? And you have this inner voice that says, tired. I want to go to the gym today. Are you being a friend to yourself? No, I don't think so. But I caught myself on the steps. I was failing in finance in 1991. That'll be in the next book if I can ever get the strength to write it. I was failing. I clapped on the steps. I'm on the steps and I'm saying, what am I going to do? My wife's pregnant. I got a little one upstairs. I got a new mortgage. And then I hear this. I became a friend, my best friend to myself in that moment. I heard this little voice saying, Roger, you got everything you need, man. Just get up and get it. And I was a martial artist, a good one from a very serious school, from a very serious and great man. I paid him with huge respect in both books. He was there. And I said, you know what? That's right. And I walked off of those steps. Martial artist, man, I had to be. I never looked back, and I became super successful, the #1 producer in the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, as predicted in Scene magazine that they wrote about me in 1999. I had it scanned. I could send it to you. I can email it to you. I became published in Forbes, Barron's, Investopedia, Trust and Estates. I was always scared of public speaking. I beat that. I beat it because I changed my mindset, because I didn't let myself be anything but my own best friend. I said, I have to support myself. I have to be positive, glass half full. I have to be optimistic, because if I'm not, who's going to be that for me?
Correct.
The answer is, for the near perfect body. What's your near perfect body? The final arbiter, I say in the chapters, is you.
Yeah.
It's only you. It can only be you. But here's the thing. I have to paraphrase because the memory's not as good as it used to be. The great Michelangelo is in here too, and so is Sun Tzu, the greatest planner, I think, of all time. But Michelangelo said it best. I read it, but I'm just going to try to do it from my mind. Something that affected this. I know what it says, but here it's hard to articulate. The real danger is not to set your aim too high and not achieve it. The real danger is to set it too low and to hit your mark. Think about that. And then I go on to say in the book, that's the great Michelangelo. So don't set your aim too high when you're going for your near perfect body. I mean, too low. Aim high. Strive. You might be shocked and surprised like I was. We didn't even realize I was on a journey at first, but when I realized that, I'm like, this is really good. The compliments started pouring. People were coming up to me, like some serious people, big-time sports people and others, everybody from everywhere is like, you're looking great. What are you doing? What are you doing? Some people said, why don't you write down what you're doing so we can follow? And I'm like, what do you think I'm doing? Okay.
Yeah.
And it was painful. I'm telling you, I wrote financial articles. I was very successful with that and helped my marketing, which is why I was doing it. But I also write things that are timeless. My book is timeless. This will always help, I believe, because it's so much about human nature, treating the symptom solution syndrome, reprogramming the mind. I like timeless things. I wrote 7 timeless investment mistakes and what successful investors must know. It's a guide. I gave it to new clients. The biggest one in my view was, and I can't give investment advice because I'm retired, so see your financial advisor before you.
Right, exactly.
Okay? But letting emotions win. Emotions are in the mind. Our minds defeat us all the time, Lee, but we can train our minds by reprogramming. It sounds difficult, but I've laid it out.
Just what you can do with it.
I have a site, nearperfectbody.com. Google near perfect body. You don't have to put .com #1 on the search engines. Google Roger Shorr, SHORR. Shows up. And get this. Try it right now if you can. If you can't, I understand because we're probably running time. Google Roger has a near perfect body. Sounds like crazy talk. But if #1 again, and if you can get you guys to do it while they're still on camera, please get them to do it and hold it up in the screen because I'm not kidding about that.
Yeah, we don't
know how it happened, but it did. Because it's my body in there with my name.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, so what other things you want to get? I mean, a tipping point I think about, I think reprogramming your brain, a couple of the things that like stuck with me. Again, I bring up the cookie. I also think about, you said you get on a scale every morning, you weigh yourself before dinner. You weigh
Absolutely,
yourself.
I do. So, I need the data right away. I have to manage it. If I'm up a little bit, I eat less. If I'm down a little bit, I eat a little bit more. But what kind of a manager? And I said, what kind of manager would just let the data go and check it every once in a while? It doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, what you focus on expands, right?
Yeah, and do me one favor, folks. Pardon my passion, okay? Lee's talking about, he's getting in here. And I'm trying to share it because it's one.
Well, that's the thing is like we want them to have the gift too, right? We want them to actually take the time, read the book, take as much you can out of it because, again, time's valuable. One commodity we never get more of. And that came back to what you said is like if you focus on it and you try at it, you're going to keep changing. You're going to make your small tweaks. You got to step on the scale and you got to step on it multiple times a day. You're weighing yourself in the morning. You're weighing yourself in the evening. You're weighing yourself at the end of the night.
Yes.
Hey, see how you're doing. And then keep a journal of it. Journal how you're doing. How did you eat? Amazing, like financial wise. If you want to save money, write down everything that you're.
Well, if you want to have a goal, don't you? If you want to get somewhere, don't you have a goal? How are you going to hit a target? How are you going to hit a target if you don't have a target?
Yeah, most of them don't have a target. But then also, if they're going to focus on it,
along,
journal.
I'm going to share. If I have a minute.
Yeah, journal. But I'm saying to them is like when you're thinking about these things, journal what you want first of all. Know what your target is. Also, then journal on a daily basis. How are you hitting your numbers? You know, the scale doesn't lie. If you measure your waist, that doesn't lie. You can tell, are your pants getting baggy? Are they tight?
You try to deny the public fact, but the facts are the facts. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
So let me do this because I have no idea how much time we have, and I tend to ramble a little.
We have about 5 minutes left.
I have so many. I have wonderful doctors. Dr. Michael F. Murphy. One of the top anesthesiologists, I think, in the Western Hemisphere, maybe the world. He himself has written 12 textbooks. He honored me by endorsing this. Dr. Gloria Doria. Oh, what a wonderful person she is. She's just, I love the name because her first name rhymes with the last name. Have you ever known a Gloria whose first name rhymes with her second? Okay. And then there's Dr. Perella, another great man. And they endorsed the book. It's special to me.
Yeah, just move in a little bit more, just because you're losing your voice a little bit. So
yeah, we'll talk a little bit.
How about the tipping point? I just think of like when we were talking about mindset and psychology of stuff. I mean, everything that we were doing, psychology plays into sales. Psychology plays into our days every day. What are we doing? How are we doing? How do we get our kids to do things? How do we get ourselves to do things? And I have one other question that goes along with that. The tipping point is, have you ever had a bad day leaving the gym? Like if you dread going, right? It's a hard time getting yourself there. But when you leave, you're like, man, I wish I wouldn't have worked out today. Have you ever said that?
Bad time leaving?
Yeah, no. Like, have you ever said when you left the gym, oh my God, I wish I would have never came to the gym today? That never happened.
Now, let me tell you what happens, Lee. I used to be, and you can prove this, and I can prove it. I used to be notorious for saying, you know what the best part of the gym is? Leaving. After my transformation, it's like, that's the reverse. The best part of the gym is watching yourself in the mirror, watching your form and seeing those last reps where you know the magic's happening. And when I walk out of the gym and I hadn't had enough time, I'm sad.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving my body TLC the best I can with food, with exercise, and hopefully with giving good thoughts.
It's also getting professionals to help you along the way, right? You had
Martin Hall, my fitness trainer. I was doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. That's in the book. What do you think that is? Insanity. So I figured, when you buy, that's when you make money. So I figured I'd buy into the best I could find. Now, I'm not a great golfer, but if I didn't have Martin Hall, I'd be like a joke minus. But when I'm on, he would be proud. I don't always, by and large, I would do him proud often. So anyway, trainer, got to get a trainer. And if you can't afford a trainer, it's no problem. You can get it online. There's things you can do. But you have to use.
I think with me, I'm going to give a plug for F45. So I work out at F45. You pay a set fee, and then they give you an app. So if I'm traveling or whatever else, I just go on there, hit the button, and it's telling me what to do. Like, I'm watching a video of what I need to do for training, and you just follow it. Like, it's not, you don't have to be Einstein, as long as you can follow it. And it's $180 a month. I'm like, most people can afford somewhere around $100. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. If not, you can do body weight. I mean, think of how much stuff that we do is just body weight, sit-ups, push-ups, walking. Walking is such a great thing for you, period.
Yeah, cardio. You have to have cardio.
Yeah.
I got cardio. The weight just it fell off and stayed off. But I had to eat right. You can't do cardio only, because I see guys doing cardio and they got popped.
Everybody else, I want them all think, like, in case you're out of shape, think of the small things you can do. Is like, just get out and walk. Go walk every day. Walk twice. Walk once a day, and then get to the point of walking twice a day. Amazing what that'll change.
If we don't have, if we're running out of time, I got to get two things in, very important, if I may, please.
Yep.
All right. You asked about. I want to say about the gym. The better dollars, in my opinion. I mean, you got to go to a gym, fitness center, whatever. There's ones out there that are bargains, but please get a trainer. Please don't be a doctor trying to treat yourself. It's much more complicated than you think. But once you learn, like I do, I go and work out. I know it makes a difference. I want to say that. So any gym, in my view, and any trainer, in my view, is a bargain at any price. If you love your body, you got to buy that. And let's talk about that's huge. And that's everything. That's the whole thing. That's when you're going to get it, period, in the story.
Say that one more time, though. Say what you said, because I missed it, because I said pay now instead of later.
The tipping point is huge, and it's real, at least in my world, in my reality. And I've had other people tell me the same, that they've experienced it. There's nothing like it. Now, Lao Tzu, again, said, the voyage of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Lao Tzu is Taoism. Tao is the way. The way of the perfect body will lead you, if you follow the path, I believe, up a slope that'll get smoother and smoother, leveler and leveler. As time goes on, it gets easier and easier, but you'll get to the summit. The summit is the tipping point. So when all of a sudden you've used Sun Tzu, I got him in the book, supreme excellence, you don't have any more enemies. The bad habits are gone. You program where you use the pies. I talk about pies, you have to read this book. Pies, way to input data into your brain. You do it consistently. It's like learning new things. It's not hard. And you get to a point, that tipping point, where reprogramming is done. And I will tell you categorically, I'll tell your entire audience, and I can prove it. I don't crave alcohol anymore. I used to be like Cookie Monster. I don't even think about cookies unless we're having this conversation, or I'm reviewing my book for the 10 millionth time, getting ready. Whatever.
And amazing how much alcohol, because of the sugar and everything else, I think of when
but I don't miss it. I do go to bars and drink. You know what I drink? Water, or I'll have like a tea or some of these. I'm drinking. I'm having fun. I'm with my friends. I'm relaxed. I hear all these people say, well, it relaxes me. Oh, let's get hammered. Are you kidding me? This is my body. I'm getting older. You think alcohol? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to go.
So, well, I think of tracking devices. I use a Whoop, and I track that. And the days that I've drank, my heart rate variability is half of what it usually is. So, like, you start tracking this stuff, amazing when you get the results that you see and what you get out of it. This is, like, Roger's book is a journey point of starting it. Like, hey, go get the book, read it, get some help. I would get some help on the way. Like you said, a trainer. Those things are going to take
please hear that.
learning of it. So that's going to help you so much more. I mean, and it gives you accountability. That's going to be the other thing that we all need as human beings. So, Roger, let's
talk about the last chapter in the book, like you said, we start with the starting point, the turning point. We talked about the tipping point briefly. It's when you're reprogrammed. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. Gone are all the resistance that happens. And then your near perfect body it's imminent. And I have the starting point, but you said it's a start. It's a journey, a pathway, and a finish. Because the last chapter of the book is called The Finish Line. I'm on the beach with my bathing suit, no top, my biggest smile, happier than I've ever been.
That's awesome.
There's much more to it, but you got to read the book.
Yeah, and the best shape that you've been in your life.
At nearperfectbody.com.
There we go.
Not nearly, not perfect, never perfect. I'm going nearer to perfect. Can't get nearest either, because then you can't get nearer. Nearperfectbody.com. Are we done, Lee?
Yep, awesome. Did a great job.
Thanks, it's great
being on here. And I hope that you guys get the book. We'll have a link below, going to his website and get it, read it. And I hope you have a great outcome like I did and Roger has as well.